for everything you did. Mr. Ames, anything?
No. No.
All right. Tammy,
Yes.
go ahead and state your name and address. And
Tammy Road, 4826 Dock Drive. I was just wondering why we don't have Bill get the certificate or license for the spraying, since he's over that, and that way no matter who comes and goes, we always have it.
What abilities? We're still in the same boat.
True, but he's in a supervisor position.
Which he can delegate to his minions.
well, I think too, and I brought it up too, because is it worth it getting a couple? I know Bill a couple years ago
Yeah.
looked at it, but I think being fiscally responsible, start getting 2 or 3 people having licenses, he feels comfortable with just one. If he feels that way,
But if he's the one person and everybody can, is that not,
Well, the idea is he's going to be here 20 years longer than me.
Right.
Basically.
is what you're
He
hoping?
just, yeah, he's only been here a couple of years. I've been here 21 years. So I can
Okay.
still work under his license. So there's no sense in paying for an extra license. That's just my philosophy.
Okay,
it's a good question.
21 years.
Morgan
Sir?
Jones. Morgan Jones, I'm over on 3649 Industry. I had a question about the zoning. What were we-
Vicki was talking to me.
Oh yeah, we don't, I just disagree with farming our zoning out to the county. I understand the training, I understand it makes it easier, it may even make it a little cheaper, but once you let go of control and you give it to somebody else, you may regret that down the line. So just my comment.
I'm with you, Gordon.
I just threw it
For
out
now.
there. I'm not for it, just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I don't see why we would at this point, so.
I
But that's all right.
can't see that the county would do it either.
No.
And they're not going to get Brimfield. They're not going to, Deerfield doesn't want it, but I know. But, all right. Thank you for your input. Anybody in the back?
You guys are here before me.
We'll go left to right, so go ahead, Greg.
Scott Krieger, 2845 State Route 44. I also serve on the board for the school district. Recently, the sports boosters and the alumni association have kind of pulled their money together, and they've kind of earmarked $210,000 for a all-weather track project on the school grounds. I'm kind of here to open up a dialogue, if you will, or kind of start the discussion. We kind of like to turn this into a community project, as it will benefit the entire community. I mean, as it sits right now, anybody could go down there and park their car and go down and walk on the track if you wanted to. And once the all-weather track is installed, we don't plan on changing any of that. So this is something that the community will certainly be able to come and utilize, whether it's walking or jogging or running. So, in order for us to complete this project, we're kicking around the idea of doing some things in-house through just donations and sponsorships and just volunteer work. And that's kind of why I'm here today, to see if the township would be interested in becoming involved in that community project, if you will.
I've talked with Scott at length on this. More so, one of the biggest cost savings is being able to get rid of the cinders out of the track. Now, how much we could help or how much we couldn't help is yet to be determined. But they're looking to see if we can help them with that aspect. We have some equipment, trucks, whatnot. And the cinders that would come up, my understanding is about 6 inches of cinders would need to come up around the track. Now, I don't know if
Do
we.
you think there's that deep of cinders there?
Yes,
Yeah, I dug it.
it's been just
Okay.
dumped on over years. And years.
Yeah. Okay.
But
That's awesome.
I'm all for it. I'm all for helping. I don't know that they've completely figured out exactly what route they want to do, whether it's using a mini excavator or a backhoe, or then they talked about possibly a dozer, and then now.
Actually, yeah, we're kind of leaning towards we may get a road grinder donated, which, the product from that would be much better wherever you use it. So that's one of the kind of leaning towards that way.
But me personally, I think it is a community project. I did check with the prosecutor's office, Mr. Benson, and, asked, the one thing that I would ask is that if we were to use our resources to help out, that the school would reciprocate by allowing our community to be able to use the track after hours or when the school's not using it. Mr. Benson was fine with that. So I know that was a concern, always with the attorneys.
Nothing would change,
And that's what we
Right.
figured,
Yeah.
but, that was just one of those things that, somebody gets something nice brand new, and now all of a sudden the gates are locked and nobody can use it.
Well, for one, I don't think we can afford to put fences around it, but yeah.
So, I'm all for it. I like the community working together, and this is to me, it's
Yeah, I agree.
a step in the right direction, so.
I don't know if you're aware, but the Rootstown Lions Pub is actually, we're having a chili cook-off. And the proceeds of that we've determined will go toward the track as well.
Excellent. When is that and where?
That is April, I think.
So that means you're gonna be there,
April
then, huh?
March.
March, I don't, yeah. let
20
me
and
check.
21st, I thought.
Yeah, get that, I'll tell you, put that out on Facebook. I think you're gonna get a nice
320
crowd.
or, is it 321?
March 21st.
March 21st, yep.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
It's a Saturday. It's at St. Pete's Hall. So 9 to 11, and we're looking at about 11 o'clock. For a couple hours.
And the other issue we did
That's
talk about.
still in the growing phase too. So same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get that advertised. One of the reasons we did that too is because of the community aspect of
Because
that.
we were looking at doing as we're both Lions members, so we were talking about doing this chili cook-off, and then word started getting out about the track and doing all this stuff. So it's like, hey, perfect opportunity for us to put money back into this community, So there we go. Hopefully, we'll get $10,000-$20,000 off of it.
The only other thing was, what do you do with the grindings or the cinders after you're done? Talking to Bill says he really don't need them. So if the school wants to keep them, we just let them keep them there. We might be able to use a little bit to mix with some salt when you get really cold days, but we really don't need a quarter-mile worth of cinders. But
I might have an area, Randolph Township still uses cinders today, so they might be interested in all of
There's
it.
probably
There you
some
go.
people that
I can talk with them
take
tomorrow
that.
and find out. When you
If
get
we could donate them to a township, or, it
Makes it easy.
makes it a lot easier than
Yeah.
trying to.
yeah.
Well,
Donate
if
it
you
versus
want,
pay to get it removed. Yeah.
we can check with Randolph and just see if,
Mhm.
and then we'll get back with
Where
you.
I don't know if does the county use cinders at all?
No, they use grit.
Yeah. Great.
What's the difference?
One's stone and one is a byproduct of coal. It's an ash.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
We may have a flyer for the Lions that we have to get approved, I'm sure, by your board to send home with the kids, right?
Yeah.
For dinner? So be looking for that.
All right.
Joe Gann, two things. One, I concur with Mr. Jones. There are too many services that the county simply just cannot handle for Rootstown residents, and that would be a no for me. Secondly, Brett may bring it up, but I would like you to consider a 501c3 for the parks, so that donations and contributions and a more aggressive effort can be made for raising funds for the park.
Now, a 501c3, that would be outside our jurisdiction. As trustees, it would have to be a separate committee, and they would have to do their own bylaws, and
Wouldn't you have to approve whatever the parks did?
they would be like a booster club for the school. So,
They can donate toward the park if they want to. And we have a line item in the budget if somebody wanted to donate. Wouldn't give you tax relief, but
And that's where.
well, no, it would. We
Would
have
it?
we're 501c5, C something. We're just not a 501c3. But yeah, any of that stuff should be tax deductible, especially to a park or something else.
that's good.
But no, I think.
We just gotta give them the tax identification number.
Yeah, or EIN if somebody wants something like that, if they wanted to donate. But I don't think that that's a bad idea, but I think it needs to be a separate entity away from the trustees.
In fact, I did not know, it's a well-kept secret.
Oh no, townships will always accept money coming in. So will the county and the state and
Yeah,
the
I think,
feds,
as a matter of fact, I think we have a line item for the cemetery.
Yeah.
That you know, we're only allowed to use the interest off of it. Right, Joanne?
It was a
Yeah.
bequeath, yeah.
That's how it was set up, yeah.
When Rootstown residents are writing their wills, they don't have the presence of mind or cognizance to improve the parks. How do we get there?
I think it's an educational piece, and that's something maybe even the parks can work on, you know, getting things out there, a Facebook page. Again, we gotta be careful with that, but, you know, yeah, it's just educational. How do you get that kind of stuff out there? So,
Since you bring up the will, let's make sure this gets in the minutes too. I highly encourage everybody to get a will. They're not that expensive. I'm going through a personal situation with our family member going through probate, and it is a royal pain in the butt. The will handles everything, and it's simple to do. Most of the things you get online anyway, and have it notarized and be done with it. But you know, little PSA for that: get a will.
I thought you were gonna tell us you put a line item in your will.
That's private. It's between me and.
Well, I just thought that's where you were going.
No.
Oh, that's great advice. I just say,
Yeah.
seek advice of legal counsel on those issues.
Of
Right.
course you do.
You don't need an attorney for that, really.
All right. All right.
Next.
Far back corner, anything?
Nothing.
All right. At this time, we're going to turn our attention to, well, okay, we do have issues with the park. I wasn't sure if we can bring them up under old business or new business, but we can treat them under old business, if that's okay. First things is the we had some members' terms that are up, and they agreed to go forward. They're all going to be reinstated for 5-year terms. That's the direction that they've been going. So I look for our approval.
Are they staggered or are they?
They're staggered with everybody else, so that Kevin's comes off a different year, or Ron Colton's comes off a different year, so does Aaron's comes off a different year, and the 2 alternates only 1 year. So
Right.
technically everything's still staggered. Okay.
Yeah.
But Annette Paulus, whose term expires on 12/31/2019, she has agreed to serve another 5-year term, and that term would go through 12/31/2024. So I'm looking for, I could do them all together, I could do them separately, but we might as well do them separately, so in case somebody has any concerns. So,
Have we had 5 years on even like the zoning commission?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Every year.
I thought they were really staggered, like,
Some were 5, some were,
The zoning
at that
Yeah.
time 5, but because they didn't want everybody's term to be up at 5 years, they did some 5, some 4, some 3.
yeah,
Whereas the
okay.
goal was to get everything to a 5-year term.
Gotcha.
So we still have that somewhat issue, and the ones up now, we're just reappointing to 5-year terms, and they will be different than the ones, obviously, nobody else.
Initially,
Yes.
okay.
So be consistent with the plan, everybody else going forward, be having 5-year terms, so. Can I have a motion to approve Annette Paulus is no longer an alternate, can I have a motion to approve Annette Paulus for another term that terminates or ends on 12/31/2024?
You wanna make the
I was gonna
motion?
say, are you making a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay, you can second.
I will second that.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Aye. And then Jess McEwen, same issue. Her term expired on 12/31/2019. She agreed to serve 12/31/2024. The Park Commission approved that extension, so I'm going to make a motion that we approve Jess McEwen to a new term that extends and expires on extends for 5 years and expires on 12/31/2019. So that's my motion.
I'll second. All in
Brett?
favor?
You had the
Aye.
wrong date on, you said it expires on 2019, that's wrong.
12/31/2000. It originally expired on
Okay.
12/31/2000. Now it extends to
24.
12/31/2024. Thank you, because
That's what you said.
I was thinking I misheard.
no,
Is that okay?
well, I kind of said both of them, but because it expires on that day and extends to that day. So, is there a second on that motion?
I already second.
Brett?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Okay. And then we have 2 alternates that are serving 1-year terms. The first alternate is Natalie Bonfine. The Park Commission reviewed, deliberated, and approved her to extend another year. And I'm going to make a motion that we also approve her to another 1-year extension that ends 12/31/2020.
One second.
Brett,
Aye.
Joe,
Aye.
Dave.
And the last one is our newly appointed alternate, Tammy Tobler. I'm requesting that her term be extended to 12/31/2020. We've already approved her, so probably is already there. So I don't,
That's done.
we don't have to worry about that one. So there were a couple issues that we did discuss previously, and that is they had wanted a mission for their commission, and we discussed about letting them come up with a mission. Give credit to Kevin Lowry. He put a few things together, did some research online, combined it with our old statement that was on our website, and this is what he came up with. The mission of the Rootstown Parks Commission is to gather information and make recommendations to the township trustees regarding the park facilities in Rootstown. The purpose of these recommendations is to enhance the quality of life by providing safe, well-maintained parks that strengthen the bonds of our community.
I like it.
Me too.
Okay, so I think I'll make a motion that we adopt that as the mission for the Parks Commission, that it would be put for.
Second.
Thank you, Joe.
Quick on the draw.
Yeah, I'll tell you one second.
Brett,
Aye,
Joe,
Aye.
Dave.
and if it's possible, I'd like this to be put on the Park Commission, on our website for the Park Commission. So, I was gonna do a motion for that, but we don't really need it, so, thank you. And then, a couple of things, I was brought up at the last meeting about, from Dr. Gadd, and I appreciate that, about doing a park bench, with the Park Commission taking the lead on that. The Park Commission thought that was a good idea. They wanted me to check with the Lions Club to see if there's any interest in doing a kind of a joint thing. And at the Lions Club meeting, the Lions Club cannot proceed with the park bench. And Joe, correct me at any point as far as the Lions are concerned, for a little while. So the Lions Club can't take
6 months.
6 months. So they can't take a lead or be a joint in the project, but they'll definitely be able to contribute a lot towards this project. I haven't gotten back and told that to the board yet, but I did call Kevin and let him know that. So I think there's some excitement or enthusiasm there to continue to get a park bench through their actions.
Is, just a question on that, is this the one with the bags, the recycling
Yes.
bags? We did that through my office, and we're kind of in that 6-month window ourselves. I would like to see maybe the park commissions have somebody sign up through that program, through them in our township. I think they will accept them. And if they can do it on their own, maybe we might be able to also help them, raise bags and everything else to get a park bench. They can do it on their own. Then if the Lions Club gets one,
Stagger.
you just kind of rotate.
The Lions are donating. We're going to continue collecting.
And whatever you do,
Is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, you're going to
And
continue.
then we're giving it to
but
the
then
park
they-
commission to do.
Yeah, if we get the park commission to sign up for the same program,
Right.
then if the Lions Club wants to donate their bench out there too, that's on them.
And the public can donate too, because
Yes.
we all know you can only recycle 1s and 2s of
I
plastic,
will
and everything
tell
else
you-
is non-recyclable. So.
I will tell you, we got a lot of bags coming in
Yeah.
in my office, which is an awesome thing. The only problem is I don't got enough organizations right now to get it, so.
So, yeah, so perfect. I think we're on the same plan.
Mhm.
This is a great project for the Park Commission. Find somebody there who wants to lead it and let them run with it, have them sign up. Now, I got somebody from the Lions Club that we talked about going out there and talking about how to make that project run great. So,
Have whoever, maybe Kevin or Ron, whichever one, send me an email and I'll send them a link to the Trex program.
sure, I think we're already there, Dave. But,
You already got it? Okay.
I mean, I think we're like 90% in, I should say. I mean, they got some information to Dr. Gadd. But that's a great idea. I'll tell them to contact you, and plus I've got somebody else that did a good job. So between all three parties, at least they can talk to you about coordinating how you guys can help them, even if you can't be.
I just don't want all the bags to go to waste.
Right.
The other thing I can't do
Right.
is I can't store, I'm 500 pounds of bags, or
Yeah,
that's a lot of
The
garbage
Lions
bags.
Club had Rootstown Giant Eagle was storing them, but they said they can't do it now. But Ravenna Giant Eagle will store them.
They store them?
They have a bin type thing in the back. You shove your plastic in there, and then they pick it up at the end, or someone picks it up. I'm not sure the details on that, but
So we took an Excel sheet and then marked
Yeah.
every time that we did it.
yeah.
So then nobody had to store it.
Yeah, well, we gave them, you could do your own, you know, honor system, hey, I have 20 pounds worth of, you know, recycled film, bags, what have you. And then you take it and drop it off, and then we let our person who, the Lions Club contact know, we just dropped off 20 bags, so they added it up, you know.
Yeah.
So you keep a running count on it.
Thank you, Dr. Kidd. Tom in the back, yeah, I saw you had your hand raised.
Do you have a specification on the bench? On what kind of
It-
bench you?
It's a Trex bench. It's
Is that all you want as Trex?
no. These are donated benches.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are just a program that's out there
Okay.
that you donate plastic
But as
bags.
the park commission or the park itself, are you looking to just only have a certain type of bench or?
It's a big park.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we're limiting
Would you
to.
accept metal benches?
I would say that they accept anything that was.
I would say there's already a couple metal benches out there, so why not?
I mean, I think there's a way to make everything work together and flow
obviously,
nicely.
Before someone would make one, they would put it, present it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And get an approval. It's just, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
Yeah,
it's a great question. And Tom, it's Tom Nader, I don't think I got your address, but what is it on Industry Road again?
I don't live on a.
He's on
Lynn.
Lynn.
4705
Sorry,
Glen Road.
you know I know that.
Across from Surecom.
The guy in front of you lived on Industry and that threw me a curve. So I guess, sorry about that, I got you two mixed up for half a second. Okay, and then also, the board would like to change your meeting time, which was cleared by Jordan as far as no conflict that he could see, but I'd like to let you guys know where it is. I don't know if we have to approve that change in time or not.
Yeah.
But they want to change it from 7 o'clock on the second Tuesday to 6 p.m. on the second Thursday, I'm sorry, 6 p.m. on the second Thursday of the month to 6 p.m. on the second Thursday. So changing an hour, moving an hour up, if I said that correctly. So it's going from 7 to 6 on the second Thursday of the month. You guys can look at your schedules, but I'm going to go ahead and make a motion if there's, and then we can deliberate on it. So I'm going to make the motion that we approve the change in time for the Park Commission from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the second Thursday of the month.
I'll second that.
Brett,
All right,
Joe,
Aye.
and Dave.
Aye.
can we make sure that gets added on the website as well?
Yeah, I'll go down.
Thank you, Joe. And the last thing I do want to say is that we had a really good meeting the last time we were there. I think I'm very excited about the potential of the Park Commission and what they can do. And I think we've had some good additions and there's a lot of excitement. So I did bring up with them about the grant and the determination of that grant
Gary?
to
Gary?
it has to be turned in by June 1st. And I said it's kind of a blank canvas, but keep in mind what's been winning, who's been winning the grants lately. And they kind of brought up, they don't think there's a great need to change the grant much from last year, except for maybe to reuse it again. I know that may have to be looked at in consideration of the grant that Ohio, the First Energy, and their past. I know there's some way to, if that has to be all tied in together, or if that's just two separate. But they kind of just want to reply with that. Now, one thing to keep in mind, which I did talk to them about, was that based on my conversations with Todd Peets, there's two other applicants, and he believes that anybody that goes for everything may not have as much luck. It's better to go for a little bit. And I know our last grant application went for the full amount, so maybe that's something we have to look at.
I'm just real quick, clarification. Are you saying we're gonna resubmit the same grant? Is that what they want? Because
They got time.
I was under the impression they wanted to kind of look at some basketball courts and Foursquare, maybe a tennis court. But if that's not the case, I mean, because I was told that, I mean, specifically from Ron, who said it was brought up at the meeting before.
I haven't done the minutes yet, but I thought they said they want to do the same thing.
Well, what's the grant, the current grant asking for?
The
It
last
was
grant
on
that was
trails.
applied was for trails and cleaning up the woods, which was for 50-some grand,
Right.
which is approximately to be the full grant. And they're gonna have to, if we're gonna take the advice of the person who writes the grant, they're gonna have to tail that back a little bit, because we probably won't likely to get the full amount.
So we're talking about walk paths, not trails, walk paths outside the woods and the woods cleanup, correct?
Yes. Same as
Okay.
it was written last time. Now there was.
Okay, so when we did the grant for the baseball diamond, that included money for the walk paths.
No,
So
there's no money in that.
I thought there was.
No, not money.
That's done, right? That money is all spent in grass and all that. Okay, okay. Okay, so the walk paths.
We put walk
In the
paths
woods.
in there that we would try to develop them with cinders and
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the
okay,
grindings.
okay, gotcha.
But there was no money allocated for
Okay,
any of
okay,
it.
all right.
Joe, they're gonna have to tail back on that last grant. I can get a copy for you at the next meeting so you can see how it was written. in case
I
you
mean,
ever-
if we have a better chance of getting half of that, maybe we should go with that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Or if we want to do a match, but it's kind of hard to do a match because we don't have
Well,
funds for matching.
here's the other, well, it's not necessarily funds for matching
Or in kind.
in kind, which
Yeah.
could be us, going out there digging or, helping try the
Trenching
stuff
for
down,
the-
whatever, any of that. The other, I did just talk to Todd Peets the other day, and met the new grant coordinator who lives right in Rootstown.
Mhm.
And they just got a grant for Manaway for $52,000, I believe, for just trails.
Mhm.
Was not the Nature Works grant, it was a
Right.
different grant.
Right.
So there's a lot of grants out there, and I think that's what he was basically trying to show us, that we
Yeah.
don't have to go after just the Nature
Right,
Works.
right, right. And that's when we need to contact that grant writer.
You see, right? Yeah, I'm gonna check. I actually called,
Because she just started, so I mean, we didn't have that opportunity before, so
Yeah.
now
and
that
last
she's there.
year, the one that does a lot of the trails, Dave, I heard the connection piece for the master.
Yeah, yeah, for the county.
For the countywide, if it's part of that piece, there's more grants than, like our trails, not like a typical trail, it's just like a circle around the park.
I say let's be greedy and get all the grants we can.
We can't, all I'm saying is, I don't know what Manaways is,
Mhm.
but for a lot of the big grants out there, they're for the trails that are connecting trails for like the railroads and for the counties.
Speaking of grants, I was told that Neomed is offering, or had offered or brought up something that if we would match $25,000, they would offer $25,000 toward the park. Does that,
That's never been, that may be something in the works that they've talked about internally.
somebody in the park commission actually talked to me about this.
Could have been Natalie, she's very
So
well.
that's something we need to look at too, if they're willing to, do a match.
25,000?
Yeah, that's what they said. I said 25,000 really, and they said yeah. And that was the.
I've never heard that.
I
No, that's
haven't
not
either,
bad,
but
but-
that's something that we need to look into. I mean,
And it is, because it's, the last piece that we bring, what Todd talked about, is that I think we all know people in the community. He said the more people that actually, outsiders, not outside, like Lions Club,
Mhm.
like other county things that actually come in and become a part of that grant, like help out, also can go a little bit further. So it's not just like the township, but if other community nonprofits, other community entities that want to donate towards the park, that may go a long way. So like the park bench, if we pull along the trail, that could be brought up. Now, I don't know if, since it wasn't originally the idea, but that's something that we show as, that other people can use it and have contribute towards it. That also is a factor that he believes can help with the grant. So keep that in mind over the next couple of months.
Any partnerships?
Yeah, partnerships do make a difference. Dave, you talked about that before, so you know that as well. I'm not trying to simplify something you guys already know, but just something.
contact Annette because she was one that told me about that.
Ned Paulus?
Yeah, she was one that I'm pretty sure it was her that told me about Neomed having that offer or something along those lines.
Be glad
That'd
to.
Well, you got the lady that works at Neomed,
Natalie.
Natalie.
Yeah, yeah,
One
but
of
she
those two.
she works at Neomed, but she's not part of the that group. She's working as a I don't know what she does. I don't know what she does there, but like Stan Danmiller, he was the veterinarian or something, worked with the animals and stuff, but he didn't know what the money making stuff, and he wasn't a John Ray kind of guy.
It's at least a lead to look at.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe that's who it was. Maybe it was Natalie that brought it up, but that was what told me. So.
Jackie did stop at ours one time, and she talked about
Jackie Smallridge.
Smallridge. Sorry, Jackie Smallridge stopped, and she does. Sequoia does show an interest always about utilizing our park, wanting to help us with our park. So that's a big plus. And I've talked about Tom Ewing a couple times, and because I see him a lot at Sequoia, and they're planning on doing something at Sequoia this year. It's not likely to be the run they did last year, but they do plan on doing another event there. So, and they want, Sequoia. They want to branch out for health and wellness, and
Right.
parks, accomplish that. So.
So Mr. Krieger wrote down that NeoMed offers a $25,000 grant with matching funds.
He's calling them now, huh?
Trying to beat us in the punch. Okay, so, is there any other old
Yes.
business?
And still on the park, but this is the memorandum of agreement with Rootstown Soccer Club. I did contact them, and they're still looking at it, and she'll get back with me. So, because we had that tabled, so now we can untable that.
I did get asked, I seen something on Facebook, yeah, that's where it always brings it up, about when the grass would be ready to use. And then I heard the park commission, somebody said it needs to sit for 2 years. And then
That's what I would think.
I mean, it's 1 full year once it gets planted. The recommendation was 1 full year of nobody being on it, just mowing it.
As we saw it.
Oh, it's already been through the 1 year at this point. I mean, we've actually a year and some change. So now, obviously, maintenance, you always want to overseed, you want to do.
Last time I walked on that, it needs thickened up. There's no way someone's going to play on that right now, or it's just going to be a muddy
We'll
hole.
oversee it here, Mark.
Yeah,
I thought
so
the
we
last
did it over
discussions,
again.
Good.
and I did bring that up, but I wasn't locking us in to that commission. I think everybody there knows what I said. I thought we wanted to wait 1 more year, but Ryan was thinking that it was really good and healthy.
Well, we need to be, this board needs to make that determination on when we're going to open the park for that.
I agree.
Not the park commission to put out.
Oh, I agree.
Put
Nobody
that
was,
out.
we weren't that far.
Okay. 'Cause I know a lot of people are chomping at the bit to do it, but you know do it right the first time so you don't have to repeat it, because if we get people on there too early, it's going to get torn up, and then now we have to shut down for 2 more years, and that's going to be even a worse predicament for us. So give it time, let it mature.
I think overseeding is going to help it,
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, just to get to what you're wanting.
And that's just the west side, and we still have the east side. It's
The east side, there's nothing,
Yeah,
we're going to start
right.
from scratch.
Joe, anything else from you?
not for old business.
All right, Dave?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, new business.
Well, we have the Census Bureau personnel. We can take that off the agenda since we've got that covered.
All right, the next thing that I have, and we can push this back to after additional business, but I think we're all down at Columbus, and I did attend one class where
Only one? We did like 7 or 8.